What's going on? What's going on? I'm Eugene Napoleon. This is Napoleon's Corner. Before I get started, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. This is actually episode 174. Well, actually, no, excuse me, 173. Episode 173. I'm jumping ahead of myself. And the title of this particular episode is Success Has Habits. Success Has Habits. I want to start off by saying, just to start this off the right way, learn to set the standards. Learn to set the standards. Success does have habits because people who are successful have standards, and they're set at a very high bar. Reason being because successful individuals understand most people don't know how to reach that bar because they don't have the right standards. In order to be successful, you first have to realize not everybody's going in your direction, and not everybody really wants success. They can say they want to be successful. They can mouth they want to be successful. Words can come out that they want to be successful, but then you realize the actions does not follow. You can say you want to be successful all you want and put forth no effort and no work. You have no discipline. That's not going to cut it. That's not going to allow you to be successful just because you say you want success. The biggest thing about having a level of expectations for yourself is you have to first cut off those who don't have this. They're not heading the same direction. They don't have the same expectations for themselves. So if they don't have that for them, they certainly don't want it for you. And there's a discipline that comes with being successful. There is an order of paying attention to details. There's an order of operation that comes along with being successful that a lot of people don't understand. It does have habits. Success definitely does have habits. When you sit and talk to someone that's successful, 9 times out of 10, you're going to realize, and I'm talking about not the ones who inherited success. They inherited money. They inherited a company. I'm talking about individuals or groups of people who built their company from the ground up. Brick by brick, step by step, deal by deal. And they kind of did it, they had a systematic way of putting things together that would allow them to be successful without anybody actually, let's say, like I said, they didn't inherit a company. They didn't inherit millions of dollars. They built it. When you build something like that, you understand the structure of it. You understand, again, the standards that you had to set in order to reach those goals. So there is a habit that kind of you walk in because you understand. Like, I remember years ago, first getting involved in the music entertainment industry years ago. And I know I'm definitely a detail oriented person just by nature. So looking at the industry as a whole, before I even got into it, I sat down with pretty much every executive of every major label. I went, understood the process and learned the process of what distribution was from soup to nuts, what a company, just a bare bone structure of what a major label and how it ran and operated. Then I understood with my knowledge of business, I'm not going to run my business that way. In other words, I put my own twist on the entertainment industry as to how we were going to run our company. And I thank God because 28, 29 years later, we're still in existence. So my habits of just me being a detail-oriented person and understanding I'm going to do business the right way. I had a simple philosophy that we live by. Good business is always respected, which means I'm not going to do a deal where it's not beneficial for everybody. And see, I know that sounds far-fetched in business because most successful people are inherently greedy when it comes to making all the money. So again, a simple little business practice for me I'm not taking all the money off the table. I'm going to leave some there. Reason being, what happens if you do a deal and you snatched all the money off of the table and now you need to hire somebody else to come in? What are you paying them out of? So my business philosophy was a real simple one. I'm going to leave some money on the table just in case I need to hire another attorney or just in case I need to retain some other entity for my business. I got something sitting there where I'm not coming out of my own pocket. The deal that I just did, if it gave me X amount of dollars up front, I'm going to leave something on the table just in case. I'm going to leave something in escrow just in case. Again, that's my own one of my own personal methods, right? So again, getting back to success has habits, the same things that made me somewhat successful as an athlete were the same things that made me successful in business. Being driven, being motivated, being self-disciplined, being self-aware, being good in business, and understanding who's sitting across from me while we're trying to do those deals. Money wasn't the only reason that made me do certain deals. It was the people or the energy that I was sitting across from or sitting in a meeting with. If their energy wasn't right, I wasn't doing the deal. If they wasn't good people, I wasn't doing the deal. Because again, a little bit of a business practice for me and a habit for me, usually if you're around someone that doesn't have good energy, that's not just for that moment. That means that individual never had good energy. If you're around people that don't do good business, it's not just because of your business deal. They've never done good business. They have a history of not doing good business. So for me, it's those little habits that kind of kept me out of doing, and again, you win some and you lose some in business. Some deals that I did were really successful deals. Some deals that I did wasn't so successful. And a lot of it had to do with the nature of the business and the nature of that particular deal as to why it didn't work out. It happens. But setting your sights and setting your goals and setting your standards up first, and then knowing what you are willing to do and what you're not willing to do, because again, you already had a set of standards, it helps you to be successful. Talk to any successful person. And once again, if they're going to be honest with you, they're going to give you a template and they're going to give you a rundown on some of these things that has helped them to become successful. And you're going to find there's some similarities in some of the things that you probably heard repeatedly. Like I just said, being self-disciplined, being a self-starter, being motivated, having an intelligence about yourself where you're not going to be duped or taken advantage of. And don't get it twisted. That happens in business. It happens to the best of them. Doesn't matter how good your attorneys are, whatever, it happens to the best of them. That's just the nature of business. You win some, you lose some. The objective would be try to win more than you lose would be the objective. But being successful has all to do, again, with being driven, pay attention to details. In order to be, or in order to continue to rise in whatever field you're in to be successful, you have to separate yourself from those who don't want success. That's a big precursor. You have to separate yourself from those who don't want success. You have to separate yourself from those who really don't understand what it takes. People think that when you climb the mountain and you're on top of the mountain, that you're up there by yourself. Well, 9 times out of 10, there's some people who climb the mountain, they're up there by themselves because they already threw people off. They climb the ladder and they kick the ladder down. Then there are those who are successful, and as they get to the top of that mountain, they're trying to reach down to pull people up. They're trying to reach down to pull people up the ladder with them. So it just depends on what type of successful person you want to be. Do you want to be by yourself at the top, or do you want to help other people to get there and share the success and make sure you're building on that layer by layer? Just depends on what type of individual you are. So you got to keep those things in mind and understand, again, the habits that are going to allow you to be successful are the same habits that you need to maintain to keep the success that you garnered. Again, the habits that you've had that's going to help you become successful need to be the same blueprints, foundation, and the habits that's going to keep you there to allow you to continue to garner more success. Those important principles. Set your standards, stand on them, and make sure you're doing everything you need to do to maintain the success that God blessed you with. I'm Eugene Napoleon. This is Napoleon's Corner. I'll see you next week. Take care.